Welcome to the show, Royce Lewis. Wow, Royce Lewis is being promoted. We'll get to why that opportunity has presented itself in a moment, but just kind of want to put that front and center first and foremost. What a journey it has been for him. What an incredible last couple months. Coming back, from the ACL, not having been playing for 2 years, also due to the COVID, canceling the minor league season, comes out and just looks exactly how the Twins envisioned he would when they picked him number 1 overall. Just incredible, especially since the last time we saw him, he wasn't looking this good. So for him to miss all this time and come out and play so well, like that already on its own was such a feel-good story of this season so far for the Twins. Royce, I think, is an easy guy to root for, and it was just so great to see. And now, there's some negative elements for sure as to why it's happening, but just incredible that Royce is getting called up and is going to have the opportunity to make his major league debut for the Twins. What an incredible last handful of months to be a Twins fan. You have the Byron Buxton extension. You have Carlos Correa signing, which, we'll talk about him in a second. And now Royce Lewis is being promoted. Big news after big news. I feel like it's been all the trades, everything going on in the offseason. It's been pretty wild. And now we have Royce Lewis, the former number 1 overall pick, being promoted to the Twins. And, this is kind of how prospect promotions go. I feel lame when I answer. I get a lot of questions, since we discussed the minor league so much. We're talking about prospects, showing you how awesome some of these guys look on the field. So, of course, a lot of the questions are like, hey, when is this guy going to get up to the Twins? What's his timetable looking like? I feel so lame when I answer those questions because I'm always like, well, it probably is going to depend on what happens to the guys above him on the depth chart, A lot of this is outside of the guy's hands. That has to be really frustrating. And if we think about it, sometimes it can be completely random. Like Cole Sands got promoted. He had a stretch of like 20 amazing starts. And then he has back-to-back terrible outings. And I'm sure the last thing on his mind was like, this is when I'm getting called up, baby. And that's when the opportunity came. And the Twins came calling. He happened to be the guy. He was on the 40-man roster. He hadn't pitched in a while, so he's the guy they called up. And he made that one appearance in Tampa Bay. Kind of a nice situation. Got his major league debut out of the way. Now he's back down. Kind of same with Jose Miranda. Miguel Sano gets hurt. That opens the door for him. You just never know, and a lot of it is going to depend on the guys above them. So do I feel like this is the perfect time for Royce Lewis to be called up? No, but he's playing very well. He looks healthy. He's playing aggressively, so there's no concern, in my opinion, over his knee or how he's feeling or how he's kind of rolling into confidence-wise, because that's sort of the main question I have concerns about. With how guys are going to handle their getting called up. But with Luis Arraez going on the COVID injured list yesterday, and now Carlos Correa suffering a hand injury, we have reporting on that the early imaging show a non-displaced fracture in his right middle finger. So I'm not sure what all that means, but it definitely sounds like we're not going to see Carlos Correa for a while, which is unfortunate. But luckily, the Twins are now looking pretty good at shortstop at the moment. Jorge Polanco can always swing over and play some short. Nick Gordon obviously can play some short. And Royce Lewis is coming up. And I expect him to be playing shortstop basically every day for the Twins while he's on the big club. How long will that be? We'll see. Because, once Luis Arraez does come back, however long that takes, it's always a bit of a mystery. Hopefully he's asymptomatic and feeling well and can test negative and return to the team before too long. That would create an opportunity for the Twins to potentially send Royce back down and just play Arraez at second and Polanco or Gordon at shortstop. You have those 3 guys in a mix between second and shortstop to where you wouldn't need Royce Lewis necessarily. Jose Miranda also can play some second base as well, so he factors in there potentially. So it'll be interesting to see how they play it. Obviously, some of it will have to do with how Royce plays when he's called up, but I don't think everything depends on that. It doesn't really matter if he hits 400. I think there's a good chance whenever Correa is healthy, he might go back down, depending on whatever else is going on with the other guys. So we'll see what happens with there. But in kind of wrapping up the discussion around promotions and kind of my thoughts on that, I think the main concern you have when promoting a prospect too early If a guy starts out slow and struggles, I think it can open the door for some self-doubt. Guys might start to wonder, like, wait a minute, I thought I was pretty good, but now up here, I'm seeing these major league pitchers, and they're a lot better than, triple A, double A guys I've faced before. Am I good enough to do this? That's what you really want to avoid. I am not worried about that with Royce Lewis. Royce Lewis could go 0 for 50. And I don't really think, mentality-wise, that would really shake him that much if he had to go back down to AAA after just an awful stretch. If that's how it goes down. I don't think that's how it's going to go down. But I don't have that concern with Royce Lewis that coming up too early and potentially struggling would damage him long-term. He's just such a positive guy. He has such great energy. That I think he would just accept it as a challenge, and getting over this challenge of, again, losing a season that was canceled in the minor leagues and then missing the year with an ACL injury. We've seen how he's bounced back from that. Nothing's going to stop this guy. This guy's going to, nothing's going to derail his career. He's going to be as good as he's going to be no matter what. So I'm not worried about him, potentially coming up too early and struggling and having that damage his long-term outlook. So super happy for Royce. Obviously, we'll hope for recovery for Arraez and Correa's finger as well, and see kind of what happens from there. But just kind of wanted to go over those news. There'll be more moves today as well, because Dylan Bundy's also on the COVID IL, and we'll see kind of how they handle that. But thanks for checking this out. We'll talk again soon.